Hey Jensen.
Hello. No, Jensen's me, Joel, right?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're joining us for another round of HTAR. Hit the Apex Racing. We're in Bahrain. We're under the bright lights. It's nighttime, and qualifying is just about to get underway. Joining me on the commentary mic this evening is Tipsy Bob. How are you, Tipsy?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings and salutations, fellow humans. It is indeed Tipsy Bob here. I am currently munching away on some lovely cereal, but don't worry, it'll not disturb the comms. But yeah, this is a first one for me on this league. Kind of a last minute jumping on board to help out the chief man. And yeah, so a few guys here I do recognize. Vexit mostly. I know very well his pace, so I'm interested just to see how these guys turn out, Chief. So I'm sure you'll keep me up to date with these guys.
Yeah, so I'll do a little recap of the previous race. This is a second race of the season, season two, I believe. But last race was pretty epic. We had Kimi Rai cross the line first, but due to time penalties, finished P2. P1 went to Vexit. He had a clean race. He had to fight for the win though. He had a few incidents he got caught up in, but a few safety cars brought him back into the game and he actually won that one. And P3 then was taken by Mayday Force. So that gives you an indication of who the top guys to watch out for. But I'm saying just down the order here, got the likes of Pavel. He was very fast. He looked like he was on for the win last time out, but yeah, just fell off towards the end of the race. And as you say, there's a few guys we do know from other leagues. Vexit, Ingenio, Joel, of course, is in this one, and he's hoping to better his best finishing position. I believe it's a P8 in the league race, so we'll see how he gets on today under the bright lights in the desert. And we're just having a look through the drivers here. Lawlers is going for a little bit of lawn
Oh yeah,
mowing.
he's taking the scenic route.
Yeah, he literally hasn't made it to Sector 2 yet, and he's already facing the Horden board. He's going to get disqualified here if he doesn't get his car facing the right way pretty soon. I think we are going to see him being disqualified, you know?
Oh yeah, what's he doing here? What the hell? I
Well,
mean, who needs rear wings, eh? You
yeah.
just go down to your local shop and buy a new one.
Yep, so Lawler's not having a good time of it. He's only on his outlap here and he's struggling already, but let's have a look. We've got Ingenio on a lap at the minute. He's in the Ferrari, he's a fast boy, and he is across the line. DRS is open here. It's a pretty long straight here, a back straight, as you head into this fast left-hander. Bahrain has a lot of elevation change. You can see the car going uphill here, and then there's two right-handers. So the second right-hander is actually going downhill. So there's a lot of momentum change, a lot of elevation changes. Ingenio was very wide onto the penultimate corner. So I wonder if he invalidated there. It's not showing up on the map that he's invalidated. He may well just come in and abandon this lap. But it looks like he's going to set the time. I wonder what he's got in the bank. Yeah, so it's fast enough to go fastest, 127.857. So I reckon we're going to see that time tumble down. Vexit as well, he got a 129 flat.
Yeah, but
Joel,
if
sorry,
you
go
look
ahead.
at that, Chief, if you look at that Vexit time, he did a 129 flat on the hards. And and the guy in front of him there in P3. What is that? Chiatis. He did a 28.6. Where am I here? He jumped ahead of. He did a 28.9 on the soft. So kind of exit. We've raced him before. We've seen him, and we've seen him go in battle against some of the fastest that we know in other leagues. And I mean, he can definitely take it to those boys. So for me, he's the fastest person I know um, in this league. So he's kind of shown it there with that time on the hards.
Yeah, you do often see that from the fast guys. They like to go out on the hard tire first and just put a wee banker in, and then go to the softer tire compounds in the later part of the race when the track starts to rubber in a bit more. So you're right there. Vex is one to watch out for. I think going by past league races, I do think it's beneficial to start on the medium for this one. Actually, that's something I'm really thought about is tire strategy for this. Is it soft medium or is it soft hard? Is the OP strategy?
uh, Do you know, some of these guys, they just know the strat for every single lap or map or track. And I mean, we've been around quite a few races. You think we would know? I'm not sure. However, memory tells me that the softs don't really last that long. So I think it could be a medium hard race.
Medium hard. So yeah, so starting on the medium or hard, or sorry, qualifying on the medium or hard would be much better strategy wise. But obviously, if you go on the soft tire, you're probably going to get massive gains in your pace. So yeah, we're seeing a few soft runners up the top of the field already. 127.8 seems like a pretty fast lap for now, but with 11 minutes and 50 seconds left, I'm just following Mayday here. He is on the hard compound and is making his way through sector 2. Such a tight corner there. I think we call it the corkscrew corner, is downhill into a very tight left-hand hairpin corner, and it's all about getting the brakes right on that one, because you are still trying to turn the car at several points, and it's very easy to spin out or go wide there and lose a massive chunk of time. So Mayday Force is showing us 2 seconds up in his time, so he is obviously just doing an end lap here, but Vexit is on a lap. He's in overtake. He's just heading down to the finish line, and what's he got? He's got a P4 on the hards. So that's him. He hasn't been in yet. He's staying out on these hards because you can get a lot of lap. Yeah, you can get a lot of laps out of these hards without having to worry about taking them into the race. Fresh.
Chief, is this stream being streamed to EGL? Because I was just kind of looking for the stream for the live chat.
Actually, it's a HTAR's own channel. I will sort you out with a link. Give me
Yes,
2
please.
seconds.
So I can keep in touch with anybody wanting to get any info or any mentions across onto the stream.
There you go. So who should we have a look at? Luca's yet to settle up. Lollers, who we saw struggling initially, is still to settle up. Looks like he's on a lap at the minute, so we'll follow him around as he makes his way into Sector 2. He has no time on the board, so it's hard to see what his time is relative to everybody else's here, but tidy enough so far. Oh, and he's being a bit scruffy here. He is losing a lot of time. Not carrying a lot of speed. Just seems like he doesn't have much confidence on this track at the minute. And yeah, right now it's all about just getting that banker lap in, and then you can kind of build on it. But Lawler's should get a lap in, but I don't think it's going to be the fastest time we've ever seen. Got
Yeah,
a
I'm
bit
just
of
trying to find a little bit of info about the best strategy for this, because it may be actually the softs might be a worthy shout, but I just don't really remember, man. So bear with me. I'm going to try and find out, and I'll update you.
Okay, Bob's on the case. He will find out what the OP strategy is, but we've got Lawler's about to cross the finish line. Here he is in hot lap mode, and he puts himself into P15. So yeah, it was a pretty scruffy lap from Lawler's there, but he's at least got a time on the board, which is more than can be said for Rafiki and Luca. Rafiki is on a lap at the minute, so let's see how he's doing out there in the Alpha. Again, going a bit wide on exit there. That is going to cost him a lot of time as he heads down to this notorious corkscrew left-hander. Look tidy enough there. He will open DRS. We've got 3 DRS zones on this track. This back finish straight is one of them. The start finish line is another, and then there's a second one just after turn 2, 3.
Yeah, so Chief, my initial suggestion, medium to hards, is actually the correct strategy. It's the best strat for Bahrain. The softs just do not last long enough, and then it kind of throws you into almost a two-stop. For a soft, medium, medium. A soft to hard, it's not really a plausible strat. So yeah, I went and asked a few of the top some of the top boys, and they all confirmed medium to hard is the best strategy for Bahrain.
So there you have it. If any drivers are watching our stream right now, they will hopefully take heed. But Rafiki Wolf is in the pits again. He must have invalidated that lap, and he is back in. He's no time on the board. So we've got Luca, his only car remaining apart from Rafiki, to set a lap time. He's heading around this Ferrari. He is on a lap at the minute. Looks like it's valid. Usually comes up red on the map if it's invalidated. We know Luca he is a fast driver. He does have a bit of a name for himself for being a bit punchy and drives with his elbows out, but let's see what he's got for this one as he makes his way through the final corner. Gets a bit loose on the exit, and he actually pulls into the pit, so he's abandoned this lap as well. So
Yeah,
P16,
I have my own on-track experience with Luca in the EGL tournament. I remember very well. It was Singapore, and I was on for a pretty good finish that race. I was fighting the likes of Sergio and holding my own really, and then I got kind of well, there was a coming together between Luca, and that was kind of my race over. So yeah, as you said, he's got the pace. He definitely has that raw pace. There's just maybe a little bit of impatience when it comes to trying passing guys, which is so detrimental to his overall finishing positions. But I mean, he's a young guy. He's growing. These things will he will iron out those little flaws that he's got at the moment. Everyone has them, and just the more often you race, the more often you race more experienced guys. Just you're just going to improve yourself over and over again.
yeah, just
The only,
right.
the only difference, the only problem is that me and you, Chief, are kind of we're well equipped with the experience that we can't actually learn anything else.
Yeah,
We're just
plenty of
permanently
experience.
slow.
Just lag pace. But Luca is, yeah, I mean, like you're saying there, he's like one of these drivers that drives with his elbows out, and it seems like everybody you talk to has a Luca story. I know I have my own. I have several Lucas stories, but I mean we're not trying to be too hard on the guy. Like I say, hopefully he learns from the mistakes, and I think that's something that all drivers need to do is just try to learn from every incident, even ones where the blame is definitely not on you. Still, you can learn stuff from that. You know what you could have done differently, maybe to on your end that might have avoided the incident. Like even today we had that race and I was looking at that incident going like what could I have backed out, could I have done this. But then some incidents you just there's nothing you can do and it's just racing really.
Yeah, well, I can actually add to what you're saying there as well, because anybody who's not up to speed, we're just coming off the back of an SLR race there, and when the race got Chief was in front of me at the start, and I got a better start off because I had better tires, so I was up the inside of Chief, and then I got sandwiched, and ultimately Chief got sent off. So it wasn't my fault, and it wasn't Chief's fault. But as Chief was saying there, even though it wasn't my fault, I was looking back as well, thinking, now, even though I wasn't at fault, and I actually didn't come off bad at all, how could I have avoided that? Well, probably could have avoided it by not trying to send it up the middle at the launch. Maybe just waited for the straight. Maybe waited a few corners because I had a faster tire. And I mean, we've been racing for I don't know what 3 years now in these F1 games, and you think you've learned everything. You think you've seen it all, but it doesn't matter how many races you've had. Even like the best, like Hamilton, even he still learns every day. Even admitted, he did mention it before. You're learning every day. Just the longer you do it, the more you've learned. Um, and that's what we're saying. We're not bashing nobody. It's just a case of inexperience, but it will come. It comes to you. It will. And I mean, Joel is another guy. Joel's a young guy, uh, a young racer, and I've noticed he's making an improvement as well. Even in the practice session today in Silverstone, he done well.
Yeah, there's a lot of young drivers out there, so it's all about just trying to be a bit mature about it, and like I say, just reflecting on incidents that you're involved in. But yeah, Ingenio top, I think he did go slightly faster, I think, and he's got a 127.5 on the board. No one else has got 127 on the board at the minute, but he has set that lap on softs, whereas Mayday Force is 128 on mediums, so he's actually looking better strategy-wise, as is Vexit and Safzu. Because, as you say, the soft guys, those tires are not going to last. They turn to jelly within about 5 laps, I reckon, and after that, it's you're going to be going backwards, so Mayday indeed is in for a great race if he can just keep it tidy.
Yeah, I'm just running on board here with Vexit there, and he's on his hot lap here in these mediums. He's up by 2/10 in the first sector, so he is into the 27s
Ooh.
on these medium tires. Yeah, there was a guy Orlando there was kind of weaving on track. Didn't really kind of hinder him too much, but it's something for people to watch out for. Keep an eye on your radar, guys, when you're on qualifying for anybody approaching fast, and just get the hell out of their way, because even having a car on your eye shot can throw you. But yes, if you're on board there, Chief, with Vexit, he's just coming to the end of Sector 2. And let's see how far up he is. So he was up by 2/10, which is going to take him into the 27s. But he's up by just over 3/10 now. So yeah, that is going to give him well. So he's definitely up to P2. Can he get this last sector and get to P1 to jump in Gino? I know he does have that ability. I've seen him race plenty of times. Here we go. Hits onto the DRS, crosses the line, and he gets P2. That is a fantastic position to be starting on those mediums, with a buffer behind you of a guy on the softs, and the guy in front of you on the soft as well. So he doesn't really need to fight Ingino too much on the race start, because Ingino his tires are gonna cook, as you said, Chief, within 4 to 5 laps. Also, you were giving a shout out to Kimi Rai. You know what, Chief? We're just watching Kimi Rai here. He's warming his mediums. I have a sneaky suspicion that his name is kind of a testament to Kimi Räikkönen. What do you think? I don't know what it is.
Maybe. Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
But anyway, here we go. So this is for the penultimate lap for Kimi Rai. I'm going to run on board with him, Chief, if you're watching.
Yep, I'm on him at the minute. So yeah, he's heading on to turn 1. Looks like he got the braking right. That it's crucial to get this exit out of turn 1, and for this next sequence of corners, you can just run wide there onto the curb, and then caution as you lift off. But looks like Kimi Rai is on it right now.
You want him to hug nice and tightly in there into that third gear. Use that. Some people avoid that curb. I would sometimes use it to kind of pull my car around. We're getting the first delta, and he is also up just a shy off 3/10. So he has also improved, which doesn't take him into the 27s yet. So he's currently roughly about a 28.3 so far as Fausto retires. He throws his hand in now. That's him done. But staying on board with Kimi Rai, let's see how he gets on. Can he push himself up a little bit higher? So he's currently up to, where will that time put him? He would be up around about 5th, 6th with his first sector time. He's coming around here to the Vexit retire. So Vexit, that is the best Vexit has got for us today, 27.8. And Kimi Rai is up by half a second.
Nice.
Half a second. So he's up to, what's that now? He's about 28.1 roughly. So as he's approaching this final corner, it's not going to get him pole. It may well get him onto the podium, though, the top 3 place. I think he may well jump at the P3. Oh, he just misses out. Look at that. He misses out by, what's that? How do you say that? 5 millionth or 5 thousandths or 4 thousandths of a second or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 4 thousandths of a second. You're right. That is absolutely nothing. That's like a bit of paper in between the two of them.
It's like you would need like what did you call them? A thigh gauge. Maybe I'm getting a bit too technical. A thigh gauge where you're measuring the clearance between in your inject. Okay, I'm getting off too technical for people there. But looking at the grid now, these top 4, Vexit and Kimi Rai are positioned perfectly for this series, and Safro too. What is that? Safso? Is that Safso?
Safso, yeah. And Pavel got himself up to P6. Luca did actually get a lap in the end on those mediums, P7, and that pushed Joel down to P8. So yeah, Mayday Force as well is looking pretty good, and P3, as is Kimi Rai there in the mediums. So we're gonna see Ingenio probably have a pretty good start to the race, and then it'll probably go downhill from there. So we'll see how his strategy plays out. We know the safety cars are a big feature in these races recently, so let's see what happens. Safety car can really screw up the best strategy ever. I've had that happen a number of times, and it can also do the opposite. It can also bring you back into a race and play out in your favor. So
exactly, Chief. Like, how many times have you been in like one of the the SLR tier one or even the 2S tier one, and you're like 20 seconds in like last place, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, if only there was a safety car. So
Yep.
yeah, as you say, those safety cars can be a blessing or it can be a hindrance to you.
I had a
But
pretty
yeah,
pretty mad experience in DMR. I think they had 3 or 4 safety cars, and I swear to God, I was out of that race at least 3 or 4 times. Like, I mean, almost getting lapped, and then the safety car came out. I was like, back in the game, and I actually ended up getting P5, I think, or P6 in the end.
yeah, it's like Kimi, like or not Kimi. It's like Nicky Lauda used to say to the guys in Merck, never ever give up, never stop, because no matter what position you're in, you never know you'll never know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. I've seen races where the safety car comes out really late in the race, and you just whenever you're thinking, I might as well just retire, I'm nowhere near the points, and then boom, the safety car comes out, you're on good strategy tires already, and suddenly you're jumped up into the points just by just hanging on there, staying on with it. So yeah, I would always say to people, don't just. I know the temptation is really easy to just I'm so far off the points, no chance of me getting any points whatsoever. I can't even catch the guy in front of me. Might as well just retire. But no, stick with it, guys, because even if you're not for points, you're still getting track experience, race experience.
Exactly. Yeah. A personal peeve of mine is whenever you see, like, the really fast guys, and they get involved in an incident, and then they just retire straight away, and I'm like, okay, right, maybe you probably wouldn't, you're not going to finish on the podium, but you could still battle, and then it would allow the guys, in the midfield to have a bit of a battle with you, and it might actually be a good thing, but I don't know, they seem to be like, there's certain guys, and I think they have the mentality, it's like either they're in for a win or they're out.
Yeah.
But I would always favor staying in a race. It's all race practice at the end of the day. If you're out of the race, like, you can still grind away. You're in race you're in a race lobby, so it all counts, as experience.
Yeah, because I mean, as you were saying, there are multiple people here in multiple leagues. I don't know what's going on from my screen, but the America is pushing the Toro Rosso. But yeah, there are multiple guys here in multiple leagues. And so like for example, for me, unusual chief, quite a few people. The race on Saturday in SLR will be the exact same track and race and settings for the next race tomorrow in 2S. So even if you are last, you're still getting track knowledge in terms of how long these tires are lasting. What's a better way of managing your ERS? There are multiple things that you could be doing with that time. Yeah, your race that you're in may be over, but it's going to help you in future races. So that's why, I mean, I was doing all right today in that SLR race. Then there's a few incidents happened that kind of screwed me over. Um, but I think what I was a 13th, I think, finished 13th. I mean, way off out of the points, nowhere near the guys. I was going to get lapped, but I stayed on there because I've actually learned that how long the mediums can go. Oh no, we've got a migrating host, Chief.
Oh dear, who is the host? I wonder. It's
Just
engineer,
left the
yeah.
session.
Oh, and there's a Williams off
Yes.
track. What is going on here?
Yeah, so there's
There's
people
a
leaving the session. It looks
okay.
like Chief's going to be a restarted lobby.
Oh my word. Okay. Oh, hold on. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you reckon a restart then? Yeah.
I think it may well be everyone's leaving here.
Interesting stuff. I'm just gonna check the chat just to see what the crack is. Tipsy, your daddy is listening to you. I just read that in the stream chat.
uh, Daddy. I mean, that's something I don't say, Daddy. Yes,
Daddy.
I have a family over at the moment, people, and I was gonna just spend time talking with them, but the chief wanted me to do the comms, so I don't know if people are seeing this on the screen, but there's absolute murder happening on track. Yeah. So Safro confirms we are indeed restarting the server. So bear with us, people. These things happen, as they say.
This is probably good because it gives us time to talk more rubbish.
Something I enjoy doing at no end. But is that invite you've sent me, Chief? Is that no? That's not. That was for this lobby.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on a invite to the new lobby then.
Oh, the session you're trying to join or spectate is no longer. All right.
Okay, I think I'm into the new lobby. Yeah, but
Hello.
your guy Popo, he had a bit of a nightmare start to the race today on SLR, and then yeah, he stuck in it, and he was like 40 seconds to a minute off the pace, finishing last position. Well, I think he actually got a few positions at the end, but yeah, he just stuck in it. Yeah, so well,
Yeah, and I mean that's an improvement from him as well because we've known Bodo since Toto or not Toto since Popo since the Popo Gamer. We've known him since well, pretty much he joined Formula One racing, and he's always shown that he has pace. But just over the last, I would say, half a year or so, he's really stepped it up. And on his day, Popo is a serious threat to people, those top boys. He's got the speed, but normally, if something did happen to him, he would generally just retire. But yeah, today was showing that he's improving and even maturing as well. That yeah, he may be well out of the race, but he just hangs on there and keeps on going and gets a bit of track knowledge, track experience, race knowledge, and race experience. Because in those moments, whenever you're on like the final lap and you're on for the race win, and there's a guy hounding you, that's when all that experience that you have gained from coming around last comes into play, and it really benefits you as well. I mean, we often talk about people saying, "Oh, I haven't practiced in a week," or "I haven't practiced this race," and then whenever the race comes, there's a few things they're just not they're not quite well oiled a machine when it comes to the race. They're just a little bit rusty. They talk about in the world of boxing. Another hobby of mine, well, not a hobby, but another interest of mine is the boxing. You hear that whenever those guys have been out of the ring for a while, they talk about this thing called ring rust. Still are great boxers. They're just suffering from a little bit of sharpness, and that's what happens in this game as well. If you're not there, if you're not on the ball, if you're not practicing, you suffer from effectively ring rust or track rust, I suppose you could put it. And these guys, this is the problem I have as well, Chief, is that a lot of these guys. I mean, I'm sure we don't need to keep on laboring the point. We do joke about it a lot, but me and Chief would be the more older gamers here. I'm 35 on Tuesday, Chief. 35 on Tuesday. Remember.
oh my word,
Um, but I suppose it's been a long time since you remember 35.
so young.
Yeah, but we're a bit old, the older guys, and we have just other things going on in our life as well. We are both married as well. So, yeah, we have other commitments. But you have all these younger guys, 19, 20 year olds, and probably living with their parents. Um, and they just have so much time just to just grind this game. And I mean, I was just saying the chief kind of off comms, off air, behind the scenes, as they say, that it can be a bit depressing whenever you're joining up tier one. You've been practicing for like a whole 1 hour. You've got your strategy, you've got your setup nailed down, um, and you're setting faster times than you've ever set, and you're just buzzing. You think, happy days, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna boss this. And then the guys go like 2 seconds faster than you. It's like, I mean, how is that possible? I'm thinking of the likes of just recently. There, I'm sure these names are no strange. These names are not unfamiliar to many people. The likes of Julian, Jensen, Copy, Wow, Astro Boys. I mean, these guys are. There are others, of course, along in that list, but those are the ones that just popped into my mind. Even Vexit as well. I mean, the lap times that they can set in some tracks is just it blows my mind. I'm sure you've experienced it too. You're on the absolute limit of everything that you can do in that car. You cannot possibly fathom that car could go any quicker, and then these guys go like a second and a half quicker than you.
And make it look easy. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
Before we
they
start the
complain about
race,
saying, "Oh, I was actually a rubbish lap. I did a mistake there or whatever."
yeah. My teammate's Icewind in SLR, so you can imagine how I feel. He can beat my soft runs on hard tires in quali, and it's by quite a margin as well. It's quite depressing, but it
How
is.
do you think I feel, Chief? I've got Wow as my teammate. I mean, he's called Wow for a reason because you watch him and you just go, wow. He's just amazing. I mean, the likes of Julian and Copy are unbeatable in my eyes, but he can still beat them. It's like these guys are on another level. But yeah,
before we
go ahead, Joe.
start the qualified P8. It's my best ever qualifying position.
Well, that's just a
But again,
testament. That's just a testament to what we were just saying there, Joel, about you. That since you joined till now, we've seen consistent improvement on you, not only in race pace but also your raw lap speed and qualifying as well. And just because you're just grinding it every lobby, every chance you get, you're here, you're grinding, you're getting the experience. And what better way to learn than learn with some of the best guys on the game?
I'm going to mute myself because I'm going for a race now.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Good luck, sir.
Yeah, so 15 seconds, Chief. I've kind of waffled on there a bit, but that's anybody who's new to me, they're going to have to get used to that. 10 seconds, Chief, and we will be, all being well, we will be kicking off the...
Bob.
Yes?
Kitty says on Wednesday you wab. My God, you don't even know when your own birthday is. Come on, bro.
It's weird. Oh, wait, so it is. You just checked.
Oh my word. So
Just ask Kitty, when's my birthday? Do you know my dad, who's listening, doesn't know my birthday? That's a disgrace. So he's missed 34 birthdays. 35.
that's why man marry what get wives basically so they can remind them of birthdays and stuff.
Yeah, flip's sake, Chief. Men need to take like a notepad with every single literal verbal conversation they've had with a woman because they can remember something you said 17 years ago
Yep.
and they know what you were wearing. Like, well, Ted, you were wearing your blue jumper. Oh.
So here we have it. As we see with these lobby restarts, we've had a few of them in our time, and the main thing to watch out for is obviously everybody's going to start on fresh tires now, so it kind of cancels out a bit of the advantage you would get. As long as everybody starts on the tires, well, in the top 10 guys start on the tires they qualified in, we should be good. Looks like Ingenio has done just that. We'll maybe have to check that after the races to make sure that everybody did abide by the league rules. We've seen that before where drivers will plead ignorance and be like, oh, I didn't know you had to, use the same tires. So Ingenio is leading the pack down to the final corner, and we'll finally get this one underway, Tipsy Bob. So quite a build up to this one, and I don't know if you want to put your money on a name for the winner. I'm thinking it seems pretty obvious, to go with Vexit at this point, but I mean, he is just a phenomenal driver, so it's hard to kind of bet against him.
Well, Mayday Force, Kimi Rai, Safo, Pavel, they're all unknown quantities to me. Luca, I know he's got the pace, but he probably will end up having an issue. So, with that being said, Ingenio and Vex were the Constructors' Champions, I believe. So, I'm going to go with my knowledge, my experience, and it's going to be Vexit for the race win.
Okay, Bob, you've got this one. I'm near the restart. Go for it.
All
Work
right,
your magic.
I kind of trip myself up whenever I do these and I speak too fast, but here we go. We're waiting for the lights to go out, and we have lights out, and away they go. And Ingenio leads the pack away with Vexit up close behind. And we've got almost, what is this, nearly 5 wide going into turn 1. We've got a McLaren up the inside. And is there a bit of contact? No. Oh, yes, there is a bit of a pile up at the back of the track. The McLaren, I don't know whether it was the McLaren caused that. Oh, and he gets run off the track a little bit further up the field. We still have the order as it was at the beginning. Ingenio with Vexit and following closely behind his Mayforce, but Pavel has got up into P4. I don't know whether Kimi Rai has had a little bit of an incident there, but Pavel up to P4. That's going to certainly help him. So now we have, what is this? We have pretty much all medium runners behind Ingenio. So Ingenio is going to learn very, very quickly within the next couple of laps that these softs was not a good idea. We have a yellow in sector 2. Oh, we've got what was that? That was the Kimi Rai completely missed the break point and ran straight off on track, and he's dropping positions here big time.
Yep.
What else?
Up front, we've got Ingenio. He's not really building up too much of a gap to Vexit. He's wanting to make the most of these soft tires while they're still performing within their range. But Vexit, yeah, Ingenio goes wide there. He's obviously trying to push these tires as hard as he can, but yeah, it's only a matter of time, isn't it, Bob, before he gets him?
Yeah, well, I think what he might be doing here is he's actually going to use his teammate because we do know they work together. He may well be using his teammate to keep his battery high, so using the slipstream, not using too much ERS. You can see that, yeah, I think he is indeed doing that because if you check Mayday Force, he's using pretty much more battery to keep up with Vexit, whereas Vexit has got almost a full battery here, as does Ingeno. So these guys are going to be working together. I know it, and I think what's going to happen here is that Vexit may well wait until the DRS comes, and then that's whenever there's going to do the switcheroo. Unless, of course, Mayday. If Mayday can kind of squeeze up in the backup Vexit here, he can kind of force their hand. But if he stays far back like this here, it's just going to play into the hands of this of Ingeno and Vexit. Although, of course, they are in opposite teams. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think
usually
they
our
will.
teammates these two, and I know they're in VC together most of the time. So yeah, there might be a bit of teamwork going on between the two of the guys, even though they're in different teams. But yeah, we're seeing Vexy close in on the Ingenio, and we're just waiting. This lap 2 DRS will come available next lap. And just looking down the order as well, Joel is the biggest loser out of that start. He's down 6 positions, currently in P14. But I have to say, reasonably clean getaway for all the drivers. No safety car, no virtual safety car, and not too much damage on the first lap, which is great to see. Uh,
Tell you what, Chief. One guy to keep an eye on is if he keeps his head clean or he keeps his nose clean, he could do well here. Is in P8, the Mr. Chiadis on the hard tires. He will get, of course, P1 whenever they all come into pit.
yes, one to watch out for. And Kimi Rai went for a move on Pavel, but Pavel gets a better run out of turn 2. I think even though Pavel has DRS open, I think Kimi Rai does too, and he's going to go down the inside. And he gets the move done. Nicely done. Pavel will come back at him, but I don't think he's able. Yeah, he's not able to get alongside for the next sequence of corners.
Yeah, so keep an eye up here. I'm going to watch with Vexit now.
Oh,
He's
Pavel
going to
going
get.
down the inside. Sorry, he does fight back, and he gets the position back from Kimi Rai. And they're going side by side as they head down to the corkscrew corner. I don't fancy this myself. I would. Oh, Kimi Rai goes off track, and he actually did go. He's managed to stay ahead of Pavel. I think that was a wee bit cheeky of him there. He just kept the power down, even though he was off track, and he's still alongside. So this is too wide through sector 3, and neither one of these guys wants to give an inch. And it looks like Pavel's got to move done once and for all here. But Kimi Rai is showing a lot of impatience here. Bit of wheel
Yeah,
contact there.
just wait for the DRS, Kimi Rai. Just wait for the DRS. Patience, my dude. But of course, he's got Safro. But and the Ferrari up on the
Oh,
inside.
and
Safro,
yes,
Luca.
Luca
And
is off.
as I predicted, Luca will end up. Well, anyway.
Yeah, patience is a virtue, and we just saw it play out there. There may be no, not a safety car, but maybe a virtual.
Pavel does a sanding down on Kimi Rai, and he hits the side pod. But they both seem to get away with it. These guys are taking chunks out of each other like two boxers. Play it smart, guys. You're on medium tires. Play it smart. Use the long game. Here comes
Yeah,
Pavel again, right on the back end of these guys. Vexit was going side by side as well with Ingeno. Vexit is side by side, but he backs out of it as well. So yeah, Vexit is just basically saying, hello, I'm here. We've got a yellow in sector 3. It's Lawler's. I did see him, funny enough, drive into the wall on the pit straight on the main straight. I don't know how you end up doing that, but all right.
he's missing a front wing at the minute, so yeah, his risk goes from worse to worse at the back. But yeah, you're right. Vexa just showing his hand there. He's just giving Engineer a little bit of a warning. Hey, I'm here. I'm going to pounce, and he's. I was going to say he's got DRS here. I don't know if he did actually have DRS open, Vexit.
Yeah, Vexit was running a non ERS there. Like I said, he's actually setting himself up for this lap on this upcoming lap, Chief, on the main straight. He's going to make it stick as Ingeno runs a little bit wide. Yeah, so Vexit is going to go for the overtake here on the DRS, and hopefully he get this a cushion between him and Mayday Force, because Mayday Force is closing up. He's only about half a second. So here goes. Vexit flicks open the rear wing. Here we go. Overtake mode, full attack, rich mode. Ingeno is going to the inside to defend. This should be reasonably, well, not reasonably straightforward. Ingeno is going to hang it on there. but he will get another bite of the cherry here, Vexit, as he's going to have the second DRS zone, and this is where it might stick.
Yeah, it's good to see these two guys fighting. We know they're friends off track, but yeah, they're fighting hard for this. Ingenio is not willing to give this up too easy. He's putting up a bit of a fight, but as we've said before, it's only a matter of time before these tires start to go off for Ingenio, and it's around about this time that will happen. He's going to see them fall off a cliff here, and he is having to fight as well, which is going to further increase his tire wear.
The thing about the Bahrain is whenever they drop off with a dramatic speed. With dramatic speed, is suddenly they're just gone, just like that. So I would expect to see Ingenio Vexit pass him. Well, if not this lap, definitely the next one.
Yeah, I think Ingenio, he's doing the right thing. He's placing his car in the right place. He's getting a really good exit from the important corners, like the final corner, and he's just about staying ahead of Exit here, but it's only a matter of time unless Exit makes a mistake. But if Exit stays behind Ingenio any longer, Mayday will catch up and could potentially put a move on him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I like watching Ingenio here. His defense. It's something I do enjoy watching people defending. It's a skill not many people seem to have mastered, but when you see somebody doing it well, it's always nice to watch it. And Ingenio is doing a good job here defending this, as Vexit has a little bit of a sneaky, little bit run deep that could compromise his position, as Mayday Force is now closed up onto the back, and he's now going to under attack. He's going to attack Vexit here. Vexit has got the saving grace of having DRS of Ingenio. That's going to hold him off from Mayday, but something's going to give between these three guys, and I think it may well be Ingenio might have to. He may well, by trying to push so hard on these softs, he might actually get a little bit of overspeed on the rear wheels and spin his car. Oh, a big lock up from Mayday Force there. Yeah, so I would expect Chief to see Vexit go for the move here. We got a yellow in sector 2, and it is Lolzer again. Oh, that's it. What are you doing, Lolzer?
Oh dear.
He just... What was that? He just cut the track, and what's going on here on my screen?
Oh, is he lapped on? He's ghosted it. He's probably trying to get the positions back. Yeah, he's fighting these guys when he really doesn't need to. So, yeah, we speak after about that. Ingenio, though, up front is maintaining the lead. He's on lap 6 on these softs. He's doing a great job so far. But I think this might be, well, no, actually, Ingenio gets a really good run out from that final corner again. And look at him. He's up the road already. His ERS is in overtake mode. So he's probably going to hold off Vexit one more lap, it looks like. Vexit just showing himself in the mirrors there, but he's too far back to do anything. This is quite the battle playing out here.
Yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with Ingenio keeping Vexit behind him. As we've said many times, how fast Vexit is. He definitely seems to have a better speed in this mid sector. Vexit does, but yeah, I think you can kind of see those softs kind of giving up on him very soon, and don't really see if we can see any graining on his tires. 7 laps with these softs. I mean, he's doing well. He's doing a good job here, but I mean, we've said it a few times. It is effectively futile. Vexit will get him past them, if not on track, on the pits as well.
Yeah,
but the question is, what is Ingenio going to do? Is he's going to go for the hards?
Yeah, I think he would have to, wouldn't he? But I wonder. I mean, if a safety car came out right now, that'd be quids in for Ingenio. But it's looking like a fairly clean race so far. So I don't know if there is going to be a safety car here.
But Pavel, meanwhile, further back as well. Chief is still continuing this battle with Kimi Rai. They're kind of neutralizing each other here, because Kimi Rai's got the DRS. Oh, look at Kimi Rai's going to the pits there. Oh, Kimi Rai does not have DRS on Mayday. He's dropped out of the DRS, so Pavel has the DRS on him, so he's going to start closing up.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have a move at the back here for P10. We've got Izzy on Rafiki, and this is the kind of overspeed you expect to see when the DRS and the ERS are fully engaged. Izzy just getting past and making it look easy. Oh, and we do have a change up front. I think Vexit went for a move there, but yeah, Hasn't got the move done there, so he is fighting hard. He is trying to get past, but just can't make his way past him. Mayday is lurking in the background there. He's loving this. He may well be, yeah, he's trying to be opportunistic here. Maybe get past both these guys in one go. Maybe these guys ahead have a bit of an incident. They're running pretty close together, squabbling over P1. And Vexit, Ingenio having to go on the inside line here just to cover off from Vexit. Vexit hanging in, running outside, but has to fall in behind Ingenio. So you go around to the penultimate corner. This corner is very tricky, very tricky. It's like, it's almost like a very late apex. You kind of break at about 100-meter point and then feed the car in. So it's a tricky, it's not a straightforward corner.
I'll tell you what, though, Chief, we're probably going to see him moving here. Ingeno comes into the pits. That releases Vexit. What I was going and he gets a 5 seconds.
Oh no! Oh no, man. Got it.
Yeah, what I was going to say was, Mayday goes for the cutback. He's going to get the DRS on Vexit. Oh, he's been a bit too eager to turn the car in. He almost gets it very sideways, but he has the DRS on Vexit. Vexit taking the defensive line. Is he going to go for the lunge? No, he doesn't. What I was going to say there, Chief, was watching Mayday and Vexit and Ingeno. You can actually tell quite a lot from how they're using their ERS in terms of their raw pace. And Ingeno and Vexit were not using as much ERS as Mayday Force. Mayday Force was using a lot of ERS to keep up with those guys. So that's kind of an indicator of the raw speed that Vexit and Geno has over Mayday. As you can see here, Vexit is starting to just slowly and gradually creep away. The DRS is, of course, helping Mayday keep him within sight, but yeah, he's slowly creeping up by a tenth of a second each few corners here. And it won't be too long until Vexit is out of the DRS zone and racing away for this potential win. Although we are only, 10 laps in?
Yep, we're a third of the way into this race. We've got Kitty in chat saying, yawn, no yeetage. So all we can do is apologize to Kitty. We know you love your yeetage. But it's, like I say, it's early days. There may still well be a few fatalities down the road here. Oh, and Kimi Rai looking for a move on P2 there. He showed himself in the mirror there, but yeah, he's too far back to do anything. He is going to have DRS here, as is Mayday Force, so he probably will not be able to get a move done here. Mayday Force guarding the inside line. That's going to compromise his exit here, as Kimi Rai does indeed go down the inside. And Mayday Force getting a better run out, so thankfully able to hold on to the position for now. But Kimi Rai, as we see, he's very punchy here. He's not going to hang back, and if he sees a gap, he will go for it.
Yeah, Mayday Force has been racing pretty maturely, pretty smartly. He's not going for any daft lunges. I mean, there was a few times you could have said, well, he could have went for it, but it depends on the corner, as we all know. You could be close enough for a lunge, but it depends on the particular corner, because if the corner is a very acute angle... Oh, we get a yellow in sector 2. Balzer has retired.
Lawlers is out. I think that was a long time coming, that one.
We've got a VSC, virtual safety car. Now, if you get the virtual safety car wrong with your speed and your deltas, you can really lose a lot of time. But of course, if you get it right, you can just nail it. As Mayday Force is racing up onto the back here of Vexit. But yeah, while we're on this virtual safety car, I will point out that Vexit into the pits, as does Mayday. Kimi Rai stays out on the mediums. Yeah, Kitty looking for a bit of yeetage. I will say that Kitty has been drinking alcoholic beverages since 3 o'clock.
Wow.
And so she's a little bit tipsy, but when it comes to yeetage and crashes, of course she likes crashes. She is French. We all know that's what they do best. Virtual safety car has ended. DRS is back up and running. I think Kimi Rai has missed a little trick there by not coming into the pits with Vexit and Mayday. He wants to keep him in that battle because he's got the good pace here.
Yeah, you're just right. The virtual safety car pitting under the virtual safety car, the cars will gain some advantage if they pit under a virtual safety car. So we're going to see how much of an advantage they gain there once Kimi Rai pits. I think they did pit early though. I think for the mediums it's around lap 12, but I could be wrong there. So we see further guys pitting further back. Izzy just came out of the pits there. Jewel back in P14 on fairly fresh medium tire, so he's struggling back there. Um, the gaps are pretty open at the minute, though. Even the gap between Vexit and Mayday Force is almost a second, and that's the closest gap on the field at the moment. So it's kind of settling down here, but sometimes you see this in races, the mid part kind of gets a bit calm and slows down, intervals kind of fill out, and then you see the guys go full attack in the final stint. So hopefully that's the case today. This Vexit already is P4. He's on these fresh hards and he's catching up to Kahidas, who's yet to pit. He's on those hard tires. So yeah, we're gonna see Vexit with DRS. Is he gonna go for the move already? Oh, he was so far back there, but he does think about it. He's going up the inside. Kahidas is not giving up too easy. Kahidas does get a compromise exit, and this is going to be one and done by Vexit. Yep, he gets moved on it, so he is up to P3. So Mayday Force will want to get past Kahidas as quickly as possible, not lose sight of Vexit. And
Yeah, Vexit is closing that. He was at 14 seconds or just over 14 seconds away from Kimi Rai, and then he is chomping that down. So he is. So when the Kimi Rai comes into the pits, Vexit is going to have what's that about hang on, let me do my math. About a 20-second pit stop. He's going to have what, 8 seconds on him?
yeah, I think that could be right.
If that is the case, then it really does show people how OP pitting under the VSC can well be.
Yeah, and Kimi Rai is going to be praying to the F1 gods for a safety car right about now. It would be epic for him. It would pretty much make him, make him a favorite for the win here. Although saying that, like medium, yeah, so he should really pit soon though, because if he's going on to hard tires, I mean, those mediums aren't going to be feeling too good around about now. And yeah,
he's actually just losing. He's more or less losing time now by running out those mediums. He might think that he's playing the big brain move here by staying out really long in these mediums, but he's really not, because all that time that he's losing on those warm mediums, the other guys are gaining on fresh hards. That's why getting your time to pit perfect really helps. But I noticed Chiatis has got DRS on Mayday Force and he's not using it. So I wonder, is it just to see? We've got a yellow in sector 2.
Force India, yeah.
John Fortnite.
John Fortnite, yeah, he's been pretty quiet all race, and yeah, he's had an incident there. It looks like he's still got all his front wing, but he's riding down in the last position, and there is a move there for P11. It looks like Luca is getting past Dragon and has got the move done, so that's for P11. Luca is on these soft tires, but they're going to be, yeah, they've seen better days. Oh, and there's a Alpha up ahead. Who is that? It looks like Pavel went for a spin. He went the scenic route there, and I think he's just touched that curb just before the hairpin. And he's got a 3-second time penalty as well. His tires are going to feel cooked, I'm sure. Yeah,
we also have Dragon as well, hunting down the back of Luca. Luca on those 9 lap softs, they will be squealing right now, overheating. He's probably at like 50+% tire wear. Dragon, of course, on those fresh hards. I would be surprised if Luca doesn't come in. There is a Safro into the pits. We got a yellow in sector. Pavel retires from the race. And I don't even begin to try to mention that name, but he gets himself a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah, Pavel actually did DNF there. He is a virtual safety car as well. So Kimi Rai going to pit? He's a wee bit of, bad timing for that virtual safety car for him, because he's in the mid part of the track, so he's got quite a way to go to the pit lane. That would have been nice for him to get a virtual safety car pit stop, but not going to be happening today, unfortunately. So Vexit is just under 20 seconds behind, so they're up to speed again as the virtual safety car period ends. and 18-second gap between P1 and P2. That is not enough for Kimi Rai. Unfortunately, he's going to come out around about P4, I think, at this
Down
rate.
to about 15 seconds already, Chief. So goes to show you. Oh,
Oh,
Kimi
Kimi
Rai!
Rai has lost it. Oh my word, those tires. Yep, they'd seen better days for sure, and they just gave out on him when he needed them most, and that's going to be
What we were
terrible for
saying,
him.
that is what we were saying, Chief. It's just more detrimental to your race by running too long on those mediums because they will bite. They will bite your head off, and he just suffered that right now. As Kimi Rai will have to come into the pits. He must come into the pits. If he doesn't come in, he's an absolute madman. He's really struggling. Oh, he spins again. Kimi Rai spins again. And Vex and Mayday Force just sail past him, and that is and he just misses Chiatis as well. Ingenio is also going to pass him. This is a perfect example of how you can effectively throw a really good finishing position by just running too long on mediums. 14 laps on the mediums is way too long.
Yep, it's a cruel game, and unfortunately, Kimi Rai paid the price for a bit of a courageous strategy there. 14 lap old mediums just wasn't working out for him, and it's cost him a lot of positions there and a lot of points, I would say, by the race end. But head down, Kimi Rai, just chip away, and you never know what might happen. He's way down the order now. He's come out P10 just behind Rafiki. So has anyone yet to pit though? I think Kahidas.
Everyone's pitted. Okay, this is the only one to pit. But we have there's two real battles going on at the moment, Chief. It's the battle for first between Vexed and Mayday, and then the battle for fourth between Safro and Ingeno. Safro on those fresher hards, one lap old, so they will be coming up the next speed nicely. Of course, Ingeno will his tires will be well glued in now, but they are a bit older. Safro is within the DRS zone. So yeah, we've got two proper battles on track here for two real top positions, the P1 and P4. But well, actually, not even P4, effectively P3, because when Chiatis comes into the pits, there will be a battle for P3. So we will have a battle for all three podiums.
It's good news for us as commentators and for the viewers. So we are gonna have a bunch of battles playing out here as we're just over the halfway point of the race. We've got Kimi Rai on the back of Rafiki for P9. We have Sasso very close to Ingenio here, but as we saw, Ingenio is a master at defending here. He's gonna have to guard the inside line with his life, as Safro will have DR. Yeah, did he have DRS? I think he did. He should have had DRS. But
Yeah,
these
Ingeno
two,
back brake really early, and there's a little bit of wheel bang between Safro and Ingeno, but Safro has that move done. Ingeno braked really early there, so I think I think he was actually playing a very clever move there. Something I would have done myself. Give him the place because he knows there's DRS up ahead. So I think that's what Ingeno was doing there. He was playing a big brain moment there. He's going to get DRS. In fact, I actually think that Gino will not pass him here. He'll not use the DRS. He will use it to keep up, but he'll not pass him. He'll save it. He's charging his battery, as you'll notice as well, on 0. He might switch it up to go up this hill. Yeah, he does. To keep up within touching distance of Safro, and then he'll get the move done again on the main straight. So that's what he was up to there. You can read some of the way some of the guys are driving. They're thinking constantly. Some people are just in the moment. Other guys are always thinking ahead, like a game of chess.
yeah, I saw that in the last race, Pavel, and I can't remember who it was, Ingenio or Vexit. And each lap, you could see that the driver behind, he was testing the driver, to see what way he would brake for a certain corner, what way he would turn in, what way he would defend, and then, yeah, it took 3 or 4 laps, and then the fourth lap, he just knew exactly what he had to do to get past him. And Safro,
Indeed,
ooh, yeah.
Gino does indeed. Oh, go ahead, Chief.
No, I'm just gonna say Safro, yeah, he's got overtaken by Ingenio, but Ingenio had the DRS there, which is critical for him to stay ahead. And they're side by side. Safro does not want to give up this move, but they don't want to go too wide for this sequence of corners. That is not advisable. I've done that a few times, and it doesn't usually work out. But these two are, yeah, they're fighting hard, but clean, and that's what we'd like to see.
Unless you're called Kitsune.
Yeah, unless you're Colkits.
Yeah, so this is actually helping, believe it or not, this is actually helping Brexit. This battle going further back between Gino and Safro, as Safro is having a little bit of a sniff up the inside. Stays. I think the secret of Bahrain not only is, of course, having the perfect, the pace. Ultimately, you have to have the pace, but it's using the DRS and your ERS together. It's of course it's probably obvious, but there's so many people don't actually think whenever they're planning a move, thinking that if I pass him now, he's gonna get the DRS on me.
Yeah.
So you can see that these guys are doing this. They're kind of just kind of jumping between each other. That's also the problem with it. That if the guy you're racing is on pretty equal pace to you, then you're just swapping each other on DRS, and it just becomes like a swapsies match really between two guys.
Yeah, and you end up losing time overall, I think. I think like it's a difficult one because sometimes you're behind a guy and you think, if I get past him, can I break out of his DRS? Because there's no point in me passing him and then him, getting me in the next DRS zone. But sometimes, if you got a faster guy ahead of you, it does make all the difference if you stay behind him and harvest DRS. Just use the DRS to keep up with him, and they might actually drag you along and better your race finish overall. But sometimes it's marginal. The guy ahead might be a bit slower than you, and you're thinking, look, this guy's actually holding me up. So yeah, there's a lot of tactical kind of strategies going on right now that we're probably not aware of, but they're playing out in front of our eyes. As Safso is very close again, once again, on Ingenio. He has a DRS here, but he's deciding to stay behind. He's got full ERS here, so I never like to see that myself. Whenever someone has 100% ERS, because it means that you're not really using it to your advantage. It's like unused pace. He's using
They're
it a
just
little bit now, though.
Yeah, but Chaedas, like I said earlier, he's the one to watch for this race. Of course, he ran very deep into the race with those hard tires. But now he's on these nice fresh mediums, and he's got what 10 laps to start hunting these guys down. As we've got Safro going for a move on Ingino down side by side in turn one. Ingino seems to have the move holding on to that position, but of course Safro will have the DRS. He also has 5 lap fresher tires. Ingino, oh, a little bit of a dummy there by Safro. Goes around the outside. That'll suit Ingino. He just run him out. Oh, Safro's going to cut back. That'll be a fantastic move. He can make it more stick. That was a fantastic bit of racing, but they're still side by side. This is not one place you want to be running side by side. Just a little bit of a clip on the front end of your car, and you are gone. And Gino hangs on still for that P3. I don't know how the penalty situation is at the moment, but I mean, hell, we're in for some hell of a race here, these guys, as well as Vexit and Mayforce up front as well. But I don't think they're battling quite as hard as Safro. And Gino is being made to work really hard by Safro. He really wants that place. And you can also see Safro is pretty much it is 100% battery. He is saving this up for this big long run to the main straight. Um, Although Ingino does have quite a healthy margin of battery as well. So what's happening, Chief, as I just said earlier, it's just they're so even on raw pace that they're just kind of just carrying each other with this DRS. As Safro, they're coming around this the main straight now. Here we go. Safro with the DRS flicks it open in hot lap mode, and he switches it down to mode 4, which is overtake. And he's got so much overspeed, Ingeno's not even going to bother defending it. He'll know that he'll have a second bite at him when it comes to this ERS or the DRS zone, the second DRS zone.
Yeah,
So
some great racing here. I mean, these guys are racing so close and showing a lot of respect to each other, and it's great to see because oftentimes you see drivers be impatient and just keep tapping the rear of the driver in front, unsettle them, and I just don't like to see that kind of racing. But here you can see what it should look like high level racing side by side. These guys obviously trust each other, respect each other, and are fighting hard over P4, P3.
yeah, I would actually just echo what you said there, Chief. Some of the racing here is top quality, just on wheel to wheel racing, very respectful, very hard, but very fair. Fantastic defense moves by Ingino, fantastic dummies and racecraft by Safo to get that move done, and then up ahead as well. I mean, Vexit, I keep on saying it, we know how fast Vexit is, as I just seen her pulling out of the slipstream. Mayday Force has really surprised me. That's the thing that surprised me too, how fast some of these guys are. Safro and Mayday as well. I mean, to keep up with Vexit is that's something else. That's the likes of Speedy and those kind of guys, you know. But speaking of which, Mayday has actually got a massive overspeed and he's going for the move for P1 on Vexit, and he so far has it. Vexit has the cutback on him. Mayday now P1. Now Vexit P1. These guys are going at it full attack. Mayday is really going for it now. This is it. He has stepped it up. Full overtake mode, although he's almost pretty much out of battery, and he goes for the late under the brakes. Vexit is holding up the inside, and he holds on for that first little battle. Mayday Force will, of course, have a second bite of that cherry in this next DRS or next DRS zone, but I think he may have just kind of overcooked his tires there. And he used an awful lot of battery as well. 27% at the moment. Vexit, a little bit more battery as well, but you can see he is being pushed all the way to this potential race win. Not sure how the penalty situation is at the moment, Chief. But further back, actually, we have actually P10 Rafiki Wolf looking for a little bit on the outside of Fausto. Fausto covers that well. Surprising how much Rafiki is closing up to Fausto here. He's on, well, I wouldn't say much older tires, but he's on older tires nonetheless, although he doesn't have much battery left either, Rafiki. And what else here? So Mayday really kind of just, he kind of threw the kitchen sink at Vexit there. Battery, DRS, everything. And why is he not in his slipstream?
I know, Vexit is going very defensive there, even though he doesn't really need to. But he's obviously feeling under threat from Mayday Force. But he just got outside the DRS range there, but it's back within again. So Mayday Force will get a DRS on this second straight. And you can see he's a bit too far back to make it count. But hopefully he'll be able to chip away at this lead and put another move on Vexit. I mean, the very fact that he can keep up with Vexit is... Oh, safety car! There's a safety car who's had an incident. Is it Kaedis? I think it might have been, because he's coming into the pit here for some reason. 5-second penalty for Kimi Rai. We've got Dragon in the pit as well. It's all kicking off here, Bob. I'm not sure what caused that incident, though. We'll probably find out after the race. But Luca, 5-second penalty as well. So these guys eager to get into the pits now and put on... Bob, this race is about to come alive. You've got all the top guys, the top 5 guys have not pitted. They may well actually decide to pit. I wonder if Vexit, it's even, he's going to be the... Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
This is what I said to you earlier. Funny enough, I remember having a race recently whenever the safety car came out with like only a few laps to go, and it was a sprint race to the end. And we have just been blessed with another incident now. The safety car has come out. We are going to have roughly pretty much a 5-lap, more or less, a 5-lap sprint to the end.
Is Vexit going to pit though? That's the big question.
I think he will. I think he should. I really think he should. He's got the pace on these guys. And
yeah, he's looking like he's going to, but is he actually going to? Yeah, he is. Indeed, you're right. And I think everybody else is going to follow him. You may get P3 or P4, Safro and Genio thinking about maybe I should just stay out here and try, because there's only going to be 4 laps left of the race. Safro does pull into the pits, and Genio as well, so it looks like everybody's not willing to make that gamble. Safro gets a 5-second speeding penalty. Come on, guys. It's not that hard. There's the pit limiter, you know. Jeez.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chief. This is the Vexit and May Force. They're not going to suffer at all coming into these pits for these softs. They're actually going to benefit big time, because the only guy who could have jumped in there in the pit was Chaedis, and sure, he's not even near the last corner. So yeah, but also it's worth mentioning, I just checked the penalty situation of the ones that is worth mentioning. Safro has already just screwed himself over big time now by getting that 5-second. But of course, remember, Chief, at the very beginning of the race, whenever Ingino came in for his first pit stop, and his first pit stop, he got himself a 5-second time penalty. So Ingino has 5 seconds. The only guys with no penalties is Vexit. Well, there are a few guys, of course, but the only guys worth mentioning at the moment is Vexit and Mayday. They have 0 penalties. In fact, I don't even think I've seen a warning. They've been very clean. So this race that we're about to witness now, this sprint race, although there are a lot of positions up for grabs for a lot of guys, the race at the front between P1 and P2 is for the race win as it stands. No penalties between them. It is all about track position. We are in for an absolute treat here.
It's going to be a belter, no doubt. There's going to be, I think the safety car will probably stay out for one more lap as everybody catches up, and I think we're going to have, looks like, what's that, 5 laps, 6 laps of flat out racing. Everybody but one on soft tires, fresh soft tires. The guys at the front have a slight advantage. Their laps will be 1 lap fresher, and that may well count for something. But another thing to consider is anybody in the midfield or even at the back of the grid, they're all going to be, it's the gaps are going to be closed up here as the safety car is in effect. And if you don't have a time penalty and you can stay up with the top bunch, you will jump up a lot of positions. We've seen it in a lot of races recently. There was one where a person jumped from P13 to P7 at the finish line.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's big gains to be made if you have had a clean race and have no time penalties.
The only thing I'll say too, Chief, is that so this is basically Vex's race to win, Mayforce's race, Vex's race to lose, Mayforce to win, really, as they stand. But looking behind them, they've got Safro. Now, what we've seen already, quality driver, very, very fast, but he's also very, well, I wouldn't say very aggressive, but he will send it. If there's a gap, he will go for it. We've already seen it whenever he was fighting Kimi Rai. He will go for it. He will go for that move. And anything can happen on a restart from a safety car. Collisions are very high. It is a very high risk for people getting collisions because when you're running so close to the end, we're so close to this final out of this race, and they're so close to so many positions that people will go for it. They will, they'll like see the red, not so much the red mist, but their eyes will just get lit up, thinking, "Oh wow!" As we were saying earlier, Chief, suddenly you're out of the race, and then boom, safety car, you're back in the race. Points are up for grabs. So Vex is going to have to really. If it was me, I'd be kind of trying to keep myself calm because you're in a great position. It's a sprint race. You've got fast tires. You know you're pretty much the fastest guy on track, but you've got so many guys behind you. Anything can happen.
Anything,
Also,
yes, anything. I just wanted to add to that and say that, this race here, Vexit is going to have to do all he can to stay ahead of Mayday Force, but we have a load of guys behind it. Ingenio as well. Sasso is showing some great pace. Even Kimi Rai in P8. If you're ever going to send it, it's going to be, in the final laps of a race. Oh, Dragon gets a 5-second penalty. That is not going to help him at all.
well, I think the safety car, yeah, I was just about to say it, and there we go. Safety car is in this lap. Here we go. 25, what's that? Roughly 4 to 5 laps. Well, pretty much 4 laps to go. People off, flat out, full attack. It's almost like qualifying mode, sector 3 or Q3 for the. So the safety car is coming in.
Yeah, Vexit's off. He's off. Oh, and he's not. He slowed down as well. I think he didn't get a very good start there, and he decided, yeah, I have to hang back and wait for the safety car to go in. It's a very unusual restart here. Vexit is up to full speed. He does get a pretty decent run. Sasso is up the inside of Mayday Force already for turn 1. Is he going to get this move done? There's a lot of position changes going on right now. It's chaos in the midfield.
Oh, Kimi Rai makes a contact with Mark Ender.
Yeah.
Luca is going to go up the inside as well. 3 wide into this really tight corner. Luca sends it.
Oh. Somehow they managed to get through all 3 of them. It looks like a pretty clean getaway onto this safety car restart. And there's not too many position changes here. Dragon is looking pretty punchy. I think he's got a few time penalties himself here, but he's very impatient here. He wants to get past ASAP. Ingenio as well on Kaedis. Kaedis goes wide, and that allows Ingenio to go up the inside. Rafiki gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh, it's all kicking off here, Bob. I can't keep up with the action.
Yeah, we've got like pretty much 2 battles going on on track. We've got the top 3 fighting, and everyone else pretty much. Yeah, we have Kaedis and Dragon trying to go to the outside.
Oh, Kaedis is out. Kaedis is out. He lost his front wing as well. He came off the worst for the wear.
Yeah, going too wide that corner is not a good idea.
Virtual safety car.
Yeah, see, yep. Vexit will be breathing a sigh of relief for that. Although he was pretty much in control, I would say, from watching him. But this battle in midfield is kicking off.
Kitty, Kitty,
they're
are you
basically
happy?
yeah, they're basically fighting for the scraps left over by Vexit here. So VSC is still ongoing.
Yeah,
3 laps to go.
VSC, it's a tricky one, and they're underway now. But yeah, you do just keep that delta in the green, and Jewel gets a free second time penalty at the back there. But up front, we've got Mayday Force hanging in tight here with Vexit. If Vexit wants this win, he's going to have to work for it. And I mean, whoever wins this race, fair play to them. They did it on merit, and I think right now it looks like Vex is in the best spot, but Mayday Force is not gonna, he's not gonna go down without a fight. Everybody getting away safely onto the safety car there. Doesn't look to be too much going on here. And the McKender maybe on Kimi Rai. Is he going to send it down the inside? He does not. The Kimi Rai breaks very late there. Able to defend the position for now. But DRS will be open shortly, I would say. Ooh,
Oh,
McKender
McKender!
sends it. And he just about made it further. Too wide for the exit. But Kimi Rai getting a better exit of the both of them. Ooh, McKender.
So at this stage, Chief, now we're going to see maybe some DRS moves, but this is whenever it comes, you need to get your brain on, switched on, because if you're going to plan a move on someone, hang on, just as we're watching McKender, is he going to send it? He's thinking about sending it. And he stays out of trouble as well. If you're thinking about making a move on someone, you should plan it for the very last lap, because then the other person can't get the DRS pull on you. Kimi Rai is trying to go around the outside of Dragon. Ooh, we just run off track, but that is going to let McKender close up onto the back of these guys. Something's going to give here. These guys are racing really close to each other. Something has got to give. Kimi Rai.
Oh, Kimi Rai makes a mistake, and that causes McKender to go out wide. And there was wheel contact that almost sent McKender into the barrier, but somehow, some way, he survived that one. And Kimi Rai, very late break in there from Kimi Rai into the corkscrew corner, and that's bought Kimi Rai a bit of time, that incident. Even though he was the one that made a mistake there, he's got DRS open, and he's going to go for a move around the outside of Dragon. Oh, Dragon gets it wrong and runs into Kimi Rai, so it's a bit of karma there for Kimi Rai as he loses out to a, just the tiniest of touches there, but it's enough to send the car out and settle the car, and that allowed McKender to get P6 as well, so Dragon P5 for now.
Kimi Rai is looking for to get a move done again, back on him again here, Chief. You're going to see as Cheetahs because have a 5-second time penalty. As I was saying to you, you're going to see the power of DRS on the last lap. That is when to make the move. McKender gets the move done on Dragon. Dragon's just going to get swamped here by these DRS guys. He's going to lose 3 positions. 3 positions as Luca comes out of nowhere and swamps Dragon. So Dragon just lost 3 places in 1 corner.
Oh man, I feel for Dragon there. Oh, and there's someone disqualified from the session. But yeah, I hate it. I've been in that situation before. You're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he got lynched by big time.
Yeah, Luca just Dragon clipped the back of Luca there and nearly ended up killing himself there in that race, or in that little bit of a touch. So, it's kicking off here. This last lap is where it's going to come into play, guys. Whenever they cross the line, that is when you want to make your move and then defend with your life as best you can, because this DRS section they're coming to now will be the only last place really to get it. There won't be a chance to use the DRS in the main straight on this last lap. So this is it, Chief. Anyone who's going to make a move, they have to make it whenever this upcoming lap. Oh, that's it, them done. They'll probably not get any more places.
Yeah.
Dragon has not helped himself by having no battery, nor does Luca.
I think Mayday Force he's done all the right things in this race, but Vexit is just he's had a pretty perfect race from the get-go, and I don't know if he's going to get him on this penultimate lap. They both have similar ARS. I think both of them are just going to use it all on this final one, get every bit of juice out of that engine. McKender with the fastest lap there in P5, but yeah, Mayday Force. Oh, Vexit gets a wee bit of a tank slapper on out of turn 2, and it's allowed Mayday Force to close up a bit. Vexit closing off the inside line there, and it's hell for leather going into turn 3. Mayday Force is as close as he has been behind Vexit, but unless he gets a really good run out from the corkscrew corner, I don't think this is gonna be his race.
Also, Chief, look at Maydays Force's battery. He's got like no battery left, whereas Vexit has got a good 35%. So this upcoming DRS is the only place Mayday can get that move done. And look at Vexit, a fantastic drive off the line. Mayday's turn is mixed way down to low, even almost none. That's it over. It's Vexit's race now. He's got this in the bag. I just have to navigate these last few corners, and it is a perfect result for Vexit. I don't think Mayday is going to do anything else here. No. I think that is our race pretty much done in terms of the race win.
Yeah, what a race from Vexit as he heads down to the final corner. He's done everything he needed to today, even with the likes of the safety car thrown in the mix, which can really screw up everyone's strategy. But Vexit kept his cool and he did what he needed to do, and I would say that the feeling in the cockpit right now is a great one.
Look at loses it, Chief. Look at loses it in the last corner.
Oh
He's
no!
lost it in the last corner and he's dropping the positions. He loses back to Dragon. He loses the Fasto. Does he lose the
Oh!
penalty? He gets them back on penalties, but oof.
Oh my word.
Disaster for Luca. I think Luca had, 3 spins that race?
Gee whiz. What a finish.
Yeah, Joel is like no wheels left on the main
Oh, Joel. It's, yeah, there's a picture for Kitty to lament on.
And Chiatis crosses the line. He showed a lot of promise. He had a good strat on there, but ultimately he just didn't have the raw pace to capitalize on it. But yeah, Chief, you asked me who I thought we were going to win, and I said Vexit. And I suppose it's a pretty safe bet. Well, it's not actually that safe a bet because considering I didn't know really anyone else. Really surprised with a lot of the pace of those guys. Mid Force definitely is. He's a guy. He's got the speed. He's got the pace. He's got the craft as well. And in Gino in those softs to hards, and then of course the softs again. The safety guard did come into play a lot for him, but overall a good result for him as well. Only losing 2 places. But look at McKender, Chief, 14th on the grid, and he finishes 4th. That is a great result from him.
Excellent. Yep.
For driver of the day, normally he would be a good shout, as would Fausto, you believe it or not, from P16 up to P8. But for me, Chief, if you're going to ask the driver of the day, it's clear as day. It's Vexit. He played it calm and cool at the very start of that first stint, harassing Ingino, really bullying him, trying to make him make a mistake. Ingino did a fantastic job of defending and didn't crack under the pressure of Vexit. And whenever Ingino came in for the pits and Vexit was released, it was his race over, or not race over. It was his race to lose at that stage. He was always in control. The second Gino came into the pit, Vexit was in control all the way, running. I wouldn't say running away with it. Mayday kind of kept up with him, but Vexit definitely had the legs on him. We just had that couple of fractions of a few tenths of a second on him. And then, of course, the safety car came out. Game on again for us to watching it, and anybody watching it as well on the stream. But yeah, Vexit did a great job, even on the restart as well, controlling that threat from the guys behind. And for me, it's a clear hands down driver of the day for Vexit. That's my take on it, Chief.
Yeah, well, joining us in chat, you'll be glad to hear, is Vexit. So there you are, Vexit. You have driver of the day. Whoa.
He got me praising him on mic.
To begin a big head now, because big heads aren't good for aerodynamics. We'll lose you time.
I must say the win was kind of lucky. The VSC was pretty much the reason I won. Although I did enjoy that race-long battle with Mayday Force. It was really quite enjoyable, and yeah, we were pretty evenly matched at that track, as it seems.
Yeah, he kept you honest the whole way. I mean, pushed you right to the very end of the race, and that's why. I mean, that's why we want to say you're the driver of the day. You just did everything you needed to. When you were under a lot of pressure, a lot of drivers would have made a mistake, or made the wrong decision strategy-wise. But yeah, you just did everything you needed to, even with that safety car thrown in the mix. You just kind of kept it cool, collected, and yeah, got yourself another race win. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What was your thoughts then when the safety car came out? Like, I mean, obviously you had your own strategy in mind, but then safety car comes out and yeah, throws everything up in the air. So what was your thoughts there?
Um, I was terrified because I knew there were still like fast guys behind me, like Safso and Ingenio. They're both pretty fast, and as you saw in the first stint, I was really struggling to get past Ingenio. So I was kind of scared of like, having to actually go for it, but in the end, like I I didn't want to seem like a coward, but yeah, it was just all I had to do. I just tried to pull away.
Yeah, I thought it was a, as I was just saying there, Vex, before you jumped in. I think it was a really, really solid performance from you today, because there were so many things thrown at you at that race, which could trip up an awful lot of guys. So we've seen people so far out in the front that they kind of just get a little bit bored and then they start making mistakes.
Mm,
You were up at front for a while with a reasonably decent gap and you didn't make a mistake. And then you had Mayday right on your back end, really pushing you as well, and you still didn't crack. Then the safety car came out, which kind of throws everything back up again. You know, just when you think you have the race under control, you've got a healthy gap to the other guys behind you, not just Mayday. And then the safety car comes out, you just have to reevaluate again. Then you have to reapply your, your mindset as well again at the safety car release. And then you see, whenever the safety car comes in, you're put under that pressure once again for those, what, pretty much the remaining few laps. And
mm.
still, man, you did not crack. You just kept your nerve. And I think it was from what I've seen of you, I think that's, for me, my favorite race watching you, because not only did you have that pace, but you had the discipline, and you just not once did you crack under pressure. I think that was definitely your best race I've seen, man. So well done.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed that one. Even though I was oh wait, is this PG stream or be able to use adult language?
You're the admin.
I was crapping myself. I
Oh,
was
oh,
crapping myself.
we don't say crap or hell. I'm only joking. It's a meme. It's a meme. Yeah, you you can say crap all you want, man. I think you earned it. You could even throw out a few other expletives there if you want. But yeah, I'm actually surprised by how kind of calm and collected you sound. Like I imagine,
Yeah.
like if I had that race, I would be like dripping with sweat and like just like vibrating, because I'm just so I've just had the race of my life and you know the ability to talk would probably be gone as well. But you come in and you're just like, it was a good race, blah blah blah. Well, is that the key to your kind of what level you're at now? Is it just you have that confidence? Um,
um, sorry.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So for qualifying, I'm able to just like have a lot more confidence in the car compared to what I used to when I started out league racing. And then as since I've pretty much got a lot better at quali, then I've started to try and work on race consistency and just instead of initially going for all out pace, I've tried to be doing just a little bit off that pace, but then doing it a lot more frequently. So just mainly so that I can what's the word to describe it? Just so I can firstly keep my tires in check to drive more smoothly, and just so that there's a lower chance of making a mistake.
Yeah,
See, this is
whatever.
like what I was saying earlier, Chief, during the race, about you and me being the more mature gentlemen of the racing leagues, and like we're like pushing to the limit to try and get anything at all out of the car, and we're dying afterwards, and we're stinking, and we're just sweating. And then these young guys come in, and they just like, that was like me just chilling, and they
Yeah.
spaced like 2 seconds. It's like, what's the point in us even racing?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I can.
that's why you're champ. Or did you win the last season of HTAR? Exit?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that. Yeah. Well, here.
We need a tier just for Vex.
Yeah,
Chief,
the
Chief
Vexit here.
One.
I think maybe get. Sorry, sorry, bro. Maybe we could get maybe me, Julian, Copy, just some other guys just in one tier in 2 SRL as well. Just just so that we're not bullying the rest of the field.
It might happen one day, but we've got EGL coming up, and that's something, maybe the HTAR, you've shown you're very good pedigree drivers, and if you can get a bunch of no assist drivers, fast boys, together, maybe you guys could enter a wee team into EGL and see how you do against the other top guys in the other leagues. That might be something. Like I know just from the 2 races I've called, I'm very impressed with the level of skill in this league. Very good to see.
Yeah.
Joel.
Uh, what's that, Joel?
I said bar Joel.
Don't be too hard on yourself, man. I mean, some of these guys like Vex. I mean, they're just so fast and they're so good. It can have a real demotivating effect on people. But to mention what you were saying there, Chief, about the EGL, yeah, I mean, I've raced in them, commentated them. I've seen pretty much every single EGL going, and the level is so freaking high in EGL, and it just gets better and better. And watching that race today, streaming it or calling it, that's my first HTR one to watch. Of course, Vex, you're no stranger to me. I've seen you plenty of time. I wasn't surprised. I predicted you would win, but there were a couple of guys there who I would think would be worth maybe considering the EGL. Not only yourself, Vex, but that Mayday Force guy. I reckon if he's a no assist guy, you guys should consider getting a team together and jumping onto the EGL, because I think you could do really, really well. Because not only are you guys really fast, but as Chief said, it's really, really smart driving. You're really clean, and it's really calculated. Well, what I've seen anyway, there was very calculated moves being done that were, a lot of risk, but also a lot of reward, and it was very respectful as well. I think, man, get yourself a bunch of no assist guys who are on your pace and sign up for the next EGL, because I think you could actually have a really good representation.
In that case, you've already got yourself an engineer.
No, we'd appreciate that, Joe.
Okay, well, I think we've got other guys waiting in the chat channels here just to have a word with us. So, without further ado, Viggs, I'm going to move you out of the
It's okay. I'll sort myself out.
Okay, well, again, congratulations on the win, man. I really enjoyed calling that one, and hopefully more of the same in the races to come. We're only in round 2, so I'm sure, there's a lot to play for. And as we've seen today, there is a lot of, a lot of pacey drivers in this league that could maybe, if they just improve here or there, we could well see a fight for the championship. But I'm gonna move in your friend. Let's see. Ingenio, yes. Ingenio. There you go. Hey, Ingenio, you're in chat. How's it going, my man?
Fine, I guess.
Yeah, you messaged me after the race and said don't interview me. Obviously, I'm picking up that it didn't go as planned.
Yeah, everything went to plan clearly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, what was your plan? Because the soft tires, they compromise you a bit there.
Well, yeah, the qualifying on the soft kind of give up any chance really you had of the race win, considering the guys behind you were on the mediums. Because as I was saying to Chief earlier, Bahrain is a medium to hard strategy. That is the best strat to go for. So, whenever I seen you pitting or the qualifying on the or the softs, it kind of spoiled your race from the get go, really. And then of course getting the 5-second time penalty didn't help as well. So, yeah, I think kind of like a lost opportunity for Ingino. Definitely had the pace, some great defensive moves as well from you, Ingino. I was watching you a lot, and I was really impressed with your defending and how you're able to hold those guys off. But just ultimately, I just think your strat kind of lost it for you, man. Unless you experienced some other issues that maybe we didn't pick up on.
Well, I mean, my strat was basically to try and hold the medium runners behind me until I pit, then hope that those few laps of difference that I have, like the few lap older hards, wouldn't make too much of a difference, which I doubt they would have really made that big a difference. But the virtual safety car obviously didn't help me because everybody got a pit stop that was a bit shorter, obviously, so came out like I think 6 or 7 seconds behind. Vex, who was when I pitted just behind me, So I mean, I don't know if I could have won it, but I mean, it would have been closer. Say if the virtual safety car didn't come out, but my thinking with the hard strategy was that if I had actually qualified on mediums, I would have probably been around like P5 or something. So I just since I've had good tyre wear on this game all round, I just would risk it, and it nearly paid off. The virtual safety car didn't help me at the end with the safety car. Fresh soft, so I made a mistake on restart, lost 2 positions, and then basically was out of the fight already. So P3 is the maximum I could get for the day.
Yeah, I was saying to Chief that all things considered, how your race went, I think 3P3 was the maximum um, available for you, and you achieved the maximum. So, yes, you did start pole man, but I think considering that the two guys who finished ahead of you were the two guys also started behind you in the mediums, I think you should still take positives from that race. You achieved the maximum that you really could have achieved. I don't know, Chief, if you have any thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was great, great, for us as commentators, to see someone try an alternate strategy, and you never know with these safety cars and all the different things that can happen in a race, like how it's going to play out. But fortunately today, yeah, it didn't work out your way. The safety car came kind of late. But yeah, I mean, I think you had a stellar drive. I mean, the first stint you had was perfect. You were holding off Ingenio, as your soft tires were falling off. You were doing all the right things, defending nicely from him, and doing all you could. But as Bob said there, I think your strategy just compromised you. But sometimes you just got to roll the dice and see what happens. But yeah, your teammates, aren't you with? No, you're not. Sorry, you're Ferrari. So you're with Luca, who is actually another driver waiting at. Well, he was waiting in chat. He just disappeared. But we've got Sasso as well in there. So, and thanks very much for joining us on the commentary stream. We will hopefully speak to you in future races, and hopefully it goes your way in the next one. So thanks again for joining us, mate.
Yeah, thanks for commentating as always.
Hey, no worries, man.
Yeah.
Speak to you soon, okay? Right, so we have yeah, Saf. So I'm just gonna move this guy in. I don't know if he wants to talk to us. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't even speak English. But let's find out. So Safzo, I see you waiting there in the wings. Hopefully you're waiting to have a chat with us. If not, I hope your mic is turned on and you're able to speak English. How are you doing, my friend? You finished P5. Bit of a chaotic race. You did pick up a few penalties there. It cost you big time. I'll shut up now. Can you just tell us about your race? How to play it up?
Yeah, it was a good race. It wasn't obviously the best, but you can't always have the best, can you? So start, it was decent. I believe I actually got accidentally spun around a bit by someone at the start, but obviously with the safety car, so it doesn't really matter, does it? And then, yeah, the race went on. First in was kind of sort of by myself, trying to keep with the front guys, getting away from the back guys. And then in the middle stint, obviously I had that really nice battle with Ingenio. That was a lot of fun. And then obviously a safety car happened. And then a penalty happened, and then P5 happened. So, yeah. And fun fact about that penalty with the safety car, in terms of going into the pits, the speed limit was, I believe, 50, and I did 50 miles per hour exactly. Still got a penalty, so obviously not great. But
I've seen that happen before in SLR, and it was basically reported, and we had a look at it. But it really depends on how the league handles that. So you may want to report it and see if they, they can remove that penalty from you. Probably not though, because I think if they did that, you'd be, I think maybe first or at least like third, second anyway. But
I definitely wouldn't be in the top two. No, I would be third at best.
yeah, but you never know. You could just throw it out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, some amazing racing. It was you and was it Ingenio? You were
Yeah,
saying?
Ingenio.
Yeah, we're kind of like lamenting upon it on the stream, just saying how great it is to see two people driving so close and not be constantly hitting each other and unsettling each other and getting unnecessary advantages. It seemed like there was a lot of respect there, but at the same time you were racing right to the ragged edge.
Yeah. Honestly, actually reminded me while I was racing, but doesn't this feel a bit like Rosberg and Hamilton 2014? uh, Obviously not as high stakes, but no, it was really really fun. That battle. It's a shame the safety car happened because I wasn't actually pulling away too much with the fresher tires. I was staying ahead. I think simply because I was able to get better exits with the fresher tires. By the way, I think that could have been a race long battle until his tires dropped off if they did. So yeah, if anything, the safety car almost ruined it, but obviously, yeah,
Yeah, that's the
whatever.
safety car for you. It can make or break your race. Yeah, but it's always like good whenever you like it was good for us anyway because I mean it really closed everybody up. Everybody but one went on soft tires, so it was like a real shootout at the very end of the race. So it really came alive there. But as you say, there was plenty of great racing happening in the mid part of the race as well, and at the start. But yeah, very good finish. I can't remember where you finished the last race in Australia though. Did you?
It was P4 if I remember correctly, and if the disconnect didn't happen, it could have been a win. So,
Oh, there you go. Well, so
so there you go.
you're a
Two game issues, of course, mean positions.
you're a contender. You're bad luck. Hopefully, you'll run out soon, and we'll maybe see you in the top steps in future races. But yeah, well, appreciate you joining us on the chat and giving us a lowdown on your race. I'm gonna move you out for now, but
Yeah.
hopefully, speak to you again soon, my friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good job on the commentary. I was listening while driving.
Oh, there you
Uh,
go.
yeah,
Excellent
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, I
it was
don't do
fun.
that because it usually distracts me. I'm like, what did they just say about me being very slow? And then I crash. But yeah, thanks again. Hopefully we'll speak to you again soon, Safro.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There we go, Bob. I think there's only one person left to interview, and it's our very own Joel, if he's even there.
Mr. Joel.
Maybe not, but we can talk about his race. Oh, there he is. Yeah, we're gonna. This gave us a rundown in your race. Obviously, didn't go your way. P11 in the end. You picked up a lot of penalties, so I kept noticing. What was happening? Were you just pushing the car too much, or?
Yeah, because I was like, well, it's all or nothing basically. Because I was down in P13, I couldn't really do anything. I had wing damage for the whole of the first stint from turn 1, so I didn't get that fixed. So I had that for the whole race.
Right. Yeah. So from the very get-go, which is often the case. I mean, it's so difficult sometimes, to avoid incidents and carnage in the first lap, especially if you're starting a bit back. If you're not qualifying in those front row positions, you're very liable. You have to, if there's any incidents, you basically have to make your way through carnage, and unscathed as well for your race to pan out well. But like you saw there, Joel, I mean, it's worth considering. Yeah, safety car came out late, so even if you got front wing damage or whatever, you did get brought back into it, and you almost like it's almost like a second chance. So you can
Yeah,
see you were in a great position if you had no penalties and you were able to, on the restart keep up with those guys. You could have got a really good finish today, So it's something to reflect on and maybe just use that experience in future races. As he disappears, the advice just was rendered him speechless. But
He
yeah,
just got left hanging there, Chief.
it's such good advice that he silenced him. But I think that goes for anybody. Like always hang in there. It seems to be the theme of this race. We're constantly going on about it, but y that there's proof. If you stick in, you never know. Late safety car could bring you right into the race. You've no penalties. You're in a really good position to pick up a whole load of points. There was only four of the top guys that actually had no penalties today. And I'm looking at the screen now. There's penalties ranging from the 3 second penalty to 12-second penalties and beyond. So yeah, always keep your oar in. Always hang in there and never give up hope. is yeah. What was it you were saying? Nikki Lauda said about it.
I never give up. Basically,
Yeah, and that's from Nikki. So you know what I mean.
he
Um,
knows he knew a thing or two about racing.
yeah,
Effectively made Mercedes what it is.
exactly. Yep. So I think with that we will round it up for today, and we'll be back next week. I think Iceland's going to be back for the next one. To call that one, it's going to be, I imagine, China. I saw someone in chat calling it the Corona GP.
Yeah,
um,
well, yeah, so Ice is back next week. That's good to hear. I always like to hear Mr. Ice and Chief doing the stream. Hopefully, people were happy enough with me filling in there and the coverage that I did. But yeah, normality will be restored with Chief and Ice next week. All being well.
Yep, so join us there for China. It'll be next Saturday at, I believe, 2000 CET. Also, just a shout out to Jules' charity event that he's organising, which has got a lot of support from the community. So if you're not in on that, please do join. And there's going to be a lot of top level drivers there, some celebrity drivers as well. I hear some YouTubers, a lot of ones I'm very out of touch with this, but yeah, there's going to be like Limitless. I know that guy, Riva, and
Well, I'd say James as well. I mean, he's
yeah.
amazing.
I mean, that alone is worth the ticket price. But yeah, coming along and try and support us through that. Trying to raise some money for the Cystic Fibrosis Trust. So it's all for a worthy cause. But I think that's it for now, guys. Thanks for joining us for that race. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Goodbye.
Bye.